Not all cardio does the same thing. Most people don't know that, and it's costing them results. The common idea is do more cardio, burn more fat. Work harder, sweat more, suffer more. But that approach ignores something very important. There are 4 completely different types of cardio, and each one does something different in your body. Using the wrong one for your goal is like using a screwdriver for hammer and nail. You are working hard, but the tool doesn't fit the job. I am Dr. Guilarte. I am a Cuban trained physician, and I create educational content about exercise, metabolism, fat loss, and longevity. Today, I want to give you a map of the 4 types of cardio, what each one actually does, and how to use them based on what you're actually trying to build. Before we get into the 4 types, 2 things need to be clear. 1, if fat loss is your goal, your nutrition is what drives it. Cardio helps, but it cannot cancel out the diet that does not support your goal. A lot of people finish a hard session and feel like they have earned a bigger meal, and then wonder why the scale isn't moving. The cardio isn't the problem, the math is. 2, if you want your body to look and function differently, not just weigh less. You need to be training with resistance, weights, bodyweight works, machine, whatever you have access to. That builds and maintains muscle. And muscle is what gives your body shape. Keep your metabolism working well and protects you as you get older. Think of it this way. Strength training and nutrition are the blueprint. Cardio is part of the construction crew. Useful, necessary, but always serves the plan. Now let's build. Type 1, daily movement and NEAT. This is the ground. The first layer isn't even a workout. It's all the movement you accumulate throughout your day without thinking about it. Scientists call it NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which just means all the calories you burn from movement that isn't a structured exercise session. Walking to your car, taking the stairs, pacing on a phone call, doing the dishes, playing with your kids, all of it. Here is what makes this so important. In generally active people, this background movement can account for more total calorie burn than a gym session. The trap a lot of people fall into is doing one hard workout and then sitting for almost completely still for another 23 hours. That 1 hour of exercise can carry the full load. You don't need to hit 10,000 steps. Research shows meaningful health benefits starting around 7,000 to 9,000 steps per day. That's the range where the data gets consistent. Beyond that, you're getting incremental returns. Small habits add up here. Take a 5-minute walk after meal. Stand when you're on a call. These things doesn't spike your hunger or drain your recovery the way your structured cardio does. They just quietly add to your totally energy output every single day. But before you worry about any other cardio program, build this layer. It's your ground. Type 2. Zone 2 cardio. This is the foundation. Zone 2 is steady, low to moderate intensity cardio that you can sustain for a long time. A light jog, an incline walk, a stationary bike at a comfortable pace, the elliptical, rowing at an easy effort. You're working, you can feel it, but you're not struggling. The simple way to check, can you hold a normal conversation? No one word answer, a full sentence. If you can, you're in zone 2. If you're gasping, you push past it. If you can sing, you're going too easy. It's that middle zone. For those who use a heart rate monitor, zone 2 generally falls between 60 and 70% of your maximum heart rate. But the talk test is surprisingly reliable and requires no equipment. So what does zone 2 actually do? This is where your mitochondria, the energy production structures in your cell, get built and strengthened. More of them working better means that your body becomes more efficient at using the fat as fuel. No use during the workout, throughout the day. That's what's often called metabolic flexibility. A well-developed aerobic base from a zone 2 training also improves cardiorespiratory fitness. And cardiorespiratory fitness is one of the most consistently supported predictors of long-term health in research. It also helps you recover faster between training sessions. And it matters when you live in 3 days per week or training for a sport. General health guidelines recommend 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity cardio per week. 3 to 5 sessions of 30 to 60 minutes cover that range comfortably. This is sustainable. It doesn't fight your strength training, and the long-term returns on it are significant. Zone 2 is the foundation. Most of your cardio time should be spent here. Type 3, high intensity interval training. This is the roof. With a solid foundation in place, now you can add the roof. That's your high intensity work. Short, hard bursts of effort followed by recovery periods. Sprints on the bike, interval bars on the treadmill. The air bike is my favorite. The defining feature of true HIIT is that during the hard intervals, you can't talk at all. That's how you know the effort is high enough. HIIT is the most time efficient way to push your cardiovascular ceiling. Your VO2 max, which is basically how much oxygen your body can use at the peak effort. Higher VO2 max is associated with better heart health, and in the research, with longer lifespan. There is also a modest afterburn effect. Your metabolism stays slightly elevated a few hours after sessions, but that's not the main reason to use it. Here's the honest part about HIIT. It costs you more than most of the people can account for. It's taxing on your nervous system, your joints, and your recovery. The most common mistake people make with cardio is doing too much HIIT because it feels harder, and they assume harder means better. Too much high intensity work, especially without the zone 2 base underneath it, can lead to burnout, elevated stress hormones, slower recovery, and higher injury risk. More stress only produces adaptation when your body recovers from it. That's the truth for the weight, and that's the truth for the cardio. For most people, 1 to 2 sessions of HIIT per week is enough to get the benefits. A full session, including warm-up and cool-down, often needs to be 20 to 25 minutes. That's it. The roof protects the house. It doesn't replace foundation. Type 4, sport-specific conditioning. This is the interior work. The house is built. Now you can focus on what goes inside. Finishing touches designed for a specific purpose. This fourth type is for people training for some specific. A runner practicing at a race pace, a basketball player running drills, a martial artist sparring, a cyclist doing HIIT repeats that match the course they've been preparing for. This is where the general fitness you have built gets sharpened for one particular use case. It's what moves someone from being in shape to being ready for a specific sport event. If your goal is functioning well long term, you probably don't need to spend too much time here. The first 3 types gives you everything you need. This layer is for people who have specific performance target. What you should actually do based on your goals. If fat loss and composition body is your goal, strength training 3 or 4 days per week. That's a priority. Then layer cardio on top. Start with your daily movement. Get to 7,000 to 9,000 steps consistently. That comes before any structured cardio session. Add 2 to 3 zone 2 sessions per week, 30 to 45 minutes each. You can do this on a rest day or after lifting. If you're recovering well and want to add something higher intensity, 1 short HIIT session per week is plenty. That's the order. Step first, zone 2 second, HIIT as a small add-on if you want it. If long-term health and longevity is your goal, daily movement is still your base. Then make zone 2 your main event. 150 to 300 minutes per week spread across 3 to 5 sessions. This is where the strongest evidence sits for cardiovascular health, metabolic function, and lifespan. 1 short high-intensity session per week can help push your VO2 max, which is also a meaningful marker in the longevity research. And at least 2 strength sessions per week to protect your muscle and bone as you age. If athletic performance is your goal, your training needs to be specific to your sport, but the principles still apply. A well-known framework used to endurance sports is the 80-20 model. Roughly 80% of training volume at low intensity, zone 2, and 20% at high intensity. It's not a rigid rule, but it shows up consistently across elite programs in different sports. It reflects something real. You need a wide, strong base to perform a sharp performance peak. 3 common mistakes that worth naming. Doing HIIT most days because it feels real hard work. Hard effort is not the same as smart training. Recovery is when adaptation actually happens. Skipping zone 2 because it's too easy. That's the point. Easy enough to do often, effective enough to meaningfully build your cardiovascular and metabolic health over time. Ignoring NEAT because it doesn't feel like exercise. It counts, sometimes more than even a workout itself. Wrap up. Stop asking how many calories you burn. Start asking what you built. Secure the ground with daily movement. Build the foundation with zone 2. Steady, consistent most of your cardio time. Add the roof with a little heat when it fits your recovery, and let your nutrition and strength training drive the bigger picture. That's a framework. It's based on how the body actually adapts, not on what feels like the most punishment per session. If this helped clarify something you've been confused about, subscribe so you catch the next one. And drop a comment. What type of cardio have you been focused on? And does actually match your goal? I'd like to know.